Hello everyone. I'm just making sure that everything's connected right, and then we'll go ahead and get started. I got some things to chat about, and then I'm going to do some creating. So let's see. Couple more clicks. Right when I'm recording, it starts popping up all these tips. I really can't read them right now because I'm live on camera. So when I don't need the tips, they aren't there. Anyway, it is Thursday. My name is Chris. I'm coming to you live from my scrapbook room, stamping room, stamp studio, card creative cave, whatever you want to call it, in Worthington, Minnesota. We're having a really nice day here today, although it's chilly. We had snow last night, and I hear it's going to snow again tonight, so we'll look out the window and see. We've hardly had any snow this winter, so it's been a very unusual winter. All right. I just came from a really exciting and motivating lunch speaker. I am a huge Survivor fan, and Holly Hoffman, who is from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, was speaking today at the Center for Active Living in Worthington. And so I signed up. One of the perks from not being a teacher anymore is you can go to lunch speakers. So it was really fun. Such a personable gal. There were maybe 40 people, so it was really, really personal. She talked about faith and courage and being brave and stepping out of your comfort zone, and she tied everything she said to the Survivor show. So if you watched Survivor, huge connections there, and if you didn't, it didn't really matter. You learned a lot about it. So she also had been a fan for years and never expected to be on the show. So if you ever have a chance to hear her speak, she's actually looking to book a gig in New Hampshire or Alaska. Those are the only two states she hasn't spoken in yet. She's headed to Orlando. So if you're in New Hampshire or Alaska and you're looking for a great speaker, she has a Facebook page, so I would reach out to her that way. So cool. So I've got some pictures and I'll post them later. I got to hold the torch, the actual torch. So I am part of a Facebook Live challenge. I've been challenged to go live every day in the month of February. So that's 29 days of live videos. And I have successfully done that with one little cheat. The day of my retreat, I put on some photos and said that if you held your finger on them, they might be the live view. But other than that, it's day 15, so this is my 15th live video. I'm still trying to find my sweet spot on what time of the day people are actually on Facebook, and so far I have not quite figured that out. So once I'm done with this month, I plan to schedule some regular times when I will be going live, so that if you choose to follow me, you will know when I'm going to be on. But it doesn't matter, because if you're watching the replay, that works too. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and comment. If you're watching live, feel free to ask me questions or comment while I get going here. My motivation today was that I really kind of want to get back into scrapbooking, and I have not scrapbooked for years. I just have been solely a card maker for the last several years, so I would like to get back into it. And so for my retreat last weekend, I wanted to make a few layout samples. So I made one, and now I'm going to make the other half of it live in front of you, unrehearsed. So I'm going to turn the camera around because I'm positioned a little differently today. It might take me a second to get it where I want it. Maybe not. Let's go ahead and get the camera turned, and here we go. Alright, you're looking at my workspace. We're going to deal with, of course, as always, hang on, we're going to deal with the glare unless I get new lighting in my room, or if I take out the glass mat, which is also a possibility. Other than that, we're going to have a glare to deal with. So, alright, let me get myself situated, move on over here, and let's get started. So, I've got all kinds of things here on my mat. Let me check in on my phone here and make sure that everything's connected right here. Turn off my volume, get rid of my layers of clothes here. I'm getting warm. So I'm going to pull up my sleeves and let's get started. This is the layout that I had on display at the retreat, and I apologize for the glare. It is what it is. But this background is what we're going to make today. So this is just a white sheet of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. Today I'm going to be working on an 8.5 by 11 because the other side of my layout is going to have a little bit more of the this color. I'm losing my words for what that color is. But anyway, so I only need 8.5 by 11. So let's get started. I've got my 8.5 by 11 piece of paper here, and then the tools that I'm going to be using today are two different embossing folders. And this one is called, oh my gosh, let me grab my catalog, because I sure do wish that Stampin' Up! Would put the name of the embossing folders right on them so that I wouldn't have to memorize them, but they don't. Okay, so these two are either from the main catalog or they are from online exclusives. Let's see. Embossing folders must have skipped. Here we go. Right here in the back. Okay, so this one is called Exposed Brick, and it's a 3D embossing folder. It's on page 168. This one is $11. And the other one is, this one must be a online exclusive. I can post the name of this one when I get done here. So we're going to use those two. Let me turn off my alarm. Oops. Sorry, folks. Okay. Anyway, those are both available, I believe. I don't think this one's retired. If it is, I apologize. But, okay, and we're also going to be using this die, which comes from the Trusty Tools die set. So I'm not using any other tools, but I'm using the pegboard die, and the only stamp I'm using are the little screw nuts, bolts from the stamp set. Alright, let's get started. This is going to get messy. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the, what did I just call this one? Brick. Exposed brick. I'm looking it up again. Exposed brick stamping folder. And I'm going to, I've got some grungy colors here that I'm working with. Basic Gray, Pebble Path, Smoky Slate, Copper Clay. I'm going to go ahead and start with the Basic Gray. And I am going to take my embossing folder and I'm going to use the raised side of the embossing folder. It's the side that doesn't say Stampin' Up! On it, Okay, one side is raised and the other side is depressed. And I'm going to drag my ink on here. And I don't need to be super clean about this because it is just going to get dirty. I'm going to go ahead and get out my chamois because I already had it on my finger there. So now I'm going to hold my paper over the edge of my work surface here, and I'm actually going to pull my glass mat out just a little bit more so that it's hanging over the edge and that my paper is right to the edge. And now I'm just going to set my embossing folder on here, and I'm going to do it again, and there is no rule here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink it up with Pebble Brown right now, Pebble Path, sorry, and I'm not even going to worry that there is some on here. And now I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I get all these edges. Again, no rules here. Be brave. Ooh, that got a little darker. Let's get this side over here. Okay, and I'm going to set this aside carefully, but I'm going to run this under the sink to clean it off. Alright, now let's take this copper clay color, and I'm going to, I can move this back in. I don't need to be going over the edge now. Alright, let's get the camera back. I'm taking my embossing folder and I am putting it in the copper clay, and what I really want are the dots. So here was a spot over here that didn't have much color on it yet, and here's a spot, and this is really subtle, but I like it. Let's see. I just want this corner yet. And then, because I want a little more of this color on my page, I'm going to lay that down, and I'm going to bring in my blending brush, and I'm going to ink up my blending brush. I don't even think that I have to blot that off anywhere. Try not to get too much ink on my fingers, and I'm hoping that that is going through the holes. It did a little bit, probably right where I started. Okay, let's try to blend that in a little more. Not exactly the look I was after, but it's fine because you're going to see when we're done here, it's all good. I really want some more of those holes to show through. I think I got some there. Yeah, that's what I was after. Let me pull that up to the camera. I want some holes, some dots showing. And let's do some of those down here on the edge. Alright, I'm also going to run this through the sink to clean it off. So let me just set it here out of the way. Okay, so let me get this off of here so we don't get that anywhere else. And then I'm going to come in with my stamp that has nuts, a screw, and a bolt and a nut, I think is what's on there. If that's not the actual terminology, it's fine. I'm going to stamp off so it's not quite so dark. Let me grab a piece of scratch paper. This is just computer paper. Stamp off. So some are going to be lighter, some are going to be darker. I'm just kind of putting these in some of the open areas. There we go. Does not bother me at all that some of those did not stamp dark. Okay. So there we have our grungy background. Let's see how it compares to the one on the layout. I'm going to take this out of the plastic so that there's no glare. Do you see how I did that? Very, very similar, just kind of grungy. This was an added little feature here, but it's going to be fine once we get our tools and things on here. So that is a way to use your embossing folders and your dies to make your own background. I will post a picture of the background when it's done so that you can get a better look at that. Let me show you some cards that I did with the same technique. Got those holes on there for a little texture, some of the exposed brick. So I thought that was a very fun way to get kind of a grungy background. This does not have any of that on it, but these are all the little pieces that you get with that die set, and this is just on a little frame, a little 3D frame, so everything's popped up with the word Dad made out of a vice grip, I think it is. And then one more card here. Again, a little play on the word Dad with the tape measures. I got this idea from, I think I copied this one somewhere off the internet, but I've also seen the pencils done with, or the word Dad. This might have been a Lori Heiling Confessions of a Stamping Addict idea. This one was actually my own, but this was super similar. And then I also took the brushes and mashed them together with the, let me grab the name of that set, Crafting with You set. So the easel came with the Crafting with You set, another little frame, and the brushes are from the tool set. So, hi Mimi, thanks for jumping in. So if you're joining me late, what I did was used my embossing folders and my dies to make a background for a layout with tools. So here's the one that I just did live, and I'm going to turn this into the opposite side of that layout, and I will post a picture of what I have come up with. Any questions, post them in the comments below. I will hang out here for a few more minutes and see if anybody has any questions or anything you want me to re-explain. Loving this set. I actually put the 12 by 12 paper of tools onto my Brother Cut and Scan this morning, and I was skeptical that it would work, But it did, you guys. Look at this whole bag of tools that I was able to cut out with my cut and scan machine. A little plug for that. So I took a full sheet like this, scanned it, and then put the little border around it, and it cut them just like slick. So I can make a whole bunch of more dad cards and Father's Day cards and tool cards and guy cards, which my stash is really low on guy cards. So I'm happy to do that. Let me flip you around again and let you know once again, if you're watching on the replay, please comment. Let me know if you have some other ideas on how to make grungy looking backgrounds. And I look forward to you coming back and checking on the finished layout. Thanks for joining me, friends. Bye-bye.